In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Breakdance's custom button presets feature to create a reusable button style. We'll use it to make a call button with a telephone link that we can reuse across multiple pages, all while keeping its styles in sync using Breakdance's global settings. I'm Elijah from the Breakdance team. Let's get started. Today, I'm going to be creating a telephone button that looks a lot like a div from our auto repair design. And then I'll be reusing it not only on this page, but also on our contact page. And I'll be using a button preset to style it. This preset will allow me to design it once, but keep that design consistent across both pages. In fact, it'll remain consistent across my entire site once it's all set up. So to get started, let's go ahead and drop in a button. We'll search for button and press enter. I'm going to work with it over here on the left-hand side of this design so that we can kind of eyeball and match up the design with this existing div, which it just has a telephone icon and the actual telephone number is just a text element. The first thing we want to do is go ahead and create our button preset. Since we've already used our primary button preset for our Get in Touch button, and we'll likely want to use our secondary button preset for some de-emphasized buttons, this new preset will need to be a custom one. We'll click the three dots at the top right to go to Global Settings, open up Buttons, go to Presets, and then we'll add our preset, and we'll go ahead and call it Telephone. Now that that's created, let's go ahead and select it for this button so that we can actually see our styling changes in real time. We'll go to Custom under the button's design settings and choose the preset we just created in the dropdown. There we go, we'll click Telephone. Now we can hop back over to our global settings and we can open up our preset and start making some changes. First, we'll probably want to adjust the size of the button. As you can see, this is pretty big, so we want it to be pretty much the same size. We'll open up the size settings and let's set the size to custom. And we'll do 32 pixels of padding all the way around for now, but we might have to tweak this a little bit later. Usually for buttons, I tend to go with a little bit less padding on the top and bottom, but if we're matching this design, it needs to be pretty consistent. Now let's set the background color to white from our global colors here, and of course our text disappears, so we'll work with that next under the typography settings. Let's set the color to this color from our global colors and just adjust the font size. I'm thinking maybe 32 pixels might be okay once we adjust the weight up a little bit. So let's set that to like 800. And that looks pretty close, though I'm already seeing that our height is a little bit off, so we'll tweak that here in a minute. I don't think there's anything else we need for our text here, so let's close that out and let's set our corners to a custom radius of 10 pixels. And then under icon, we do want to go ahead and add a telephone icon. We'll choose this one and we do want it on the left-hand side. We don't want any space before it, but we do want some space after it. And that might be a bit too much, so let's drop it down to 16 pixels. And then we'll play with the size a little bit. I don't want it to be too big or too small, so I think about 32 pixels is our sweet spot here. Now for the color, we definitely want to use the orange color. It doesn't match the design perfectly, but we're getting pretty close. I do want to add a 16 pixel hover transform here. Let's hover over it and you can see the icon moves a little bit, but I think 16 might be too much. Let's do 8 instead. And that gives us a nice, slightly more subtle effect. Now let's take a look at what other settings we might want to tweak. If we open up effects, we'll have a few different options here. We have a scale on hover option and a shadow option. I think scale on hover might look nice. Let's try a 1.1, which isn't bad, but it might be a bit much in combination with the icon animation, so let's just leave that off and keep it a little more simple. Now, I do want to get the size a little bit closer to this one we're basing the design off of. I like the smaller icon, but I want the overall size of the button to be more similar. So we'll go back up here to size, and let's try dropping this down to 16 pixels on the top and bottom. That is a little bit better and does look closer to what I want it to look like. So now to get a true preview, let's go ahead and copy and paste this text into this button. And then for the link, we'll do a tel link and we'll reformat this telephone number to make sure that when you click it, it actually will prompt you to make a phone call. Okay, so I'm happy with this design, but I want to move it over where the other one is. Now, I think it might have some special positioning on it, so let's check for that first. And I don't really see anything here under the container settings or the spacing. So let's just open our structure panel and save our global settings. And then we'll make sure that we drop it in the same location. It's on the column on the right, just below this image. We'll just select that and then drag it in the structure panel. There we go. Now we can actually get rid of the div that we based this button design on. That looks pretty good, but now we want to use this in another location on our site, specifically the contact page. So let's copy the phone number and then let's go ahead and save our design here and hop over to our contact page. Now we want the same button here, but we don't want to have to redesign the whole thing. So this is where our presets really come into play. Let's select this so that we can see in the structure panel where everything's at. We have a fancy divider and I want the button right above that. So I'm going to add a button and then drag it right up into position. Now let's paste the phone number and then our telelink just like we did before. We'll need to do a little bit of formatting here again to make sure the link is clickable and prompts the clicker to make a phone call. But once that's done, we can go over to our design tab, go to button, custom, preset, and then choose the preset we just created. And now we have this nice looking telephone button wherever we need it. And here's the really cool part. If we ever want to make a change to this, we can actually change it on a global level. So we'll go to our global settings, presets, telephone, and then styles. Now we can go in, for instance, and adjust the icon. Let's say we want a different telephone icon. Let's do this one. And then let's say we want to adjust the size a little bit. Let's just raise it to about 40 pixels and then make sure our hover effect is still good. And now if we save that and hop back over to our landing page, you'll see that all of those styling adjustments have also impacted this original button. So by using a custom button preset, we're able to establish a style that's reusable across our entire site and also easy to change on a global level when you eventually need to make some adjustments. So again, I'm Elijah from the Breakdance team, and that's how to use Breakdance's custom global button presets to create reusable, consistent button styles across your entire site.